There's a mathematical formula for your compressor that pretty much guarantees its settings are going to fit perfectly with your song. No more turning knobs and hoping for the best. The secret is syncing your attack and your release times to your project's BPM. Today, I'll show you how to calculate those grooves down to the exact milliseconds so that you can hear how much groove it actually adds to a mix. And it all has to do with math. Let's hop in. Let's get one thing straight. Compression is difficult to hear. If you've tried learning about compression before, there is a high chance that you just put on some YouTube video, paused it, and stole their exact settings they used. And if I had to guess, it probably didn't sound all that good. And the reason is simple. Timing is relative. You can't just copy someone else's mix that's in a different tempo using different source material and expect to get similar results. And the pros that you're stealing from are hard to copy from in the first place. Pros can afford to dial in attack and release times by feel because they've been calibrating their ears for 20 plus years. But copying their settings won't help you if you can't hear what they're hearing. Instead, it's much faster to start with a calculated value that you know works every time. This calculated value will give you a solid rhythmic foundation so you can start learning what it should actually sound like. And here's another thing that most people don't realize. Compression isn't just volume. It's about timing. In fact, you can think of a compressor as an envelope. A properly dialed in compressor does something similar to an enveloper, affecting the attack, affecting the release, and affecting, more importantly, the timing of the track itself. Your attack is responsible for how fast that compressor starts working, and it's a big reason for the transient, or how much of that initial volume spike comes through. The release affects how long the compressor stays engaged. And a long release that's out of sync with the BPM just creates timing problems all around. Ideally, you want to dial in this release knob so that it stops right before the next hit. Listen to this snare. It can be really hard to know what values to put in these attack and release knobs, but they are absolutely essential for getting the timing down right. So now let's dive into the formula that will show us to get the exact millisecond values we need. And the formula that we'll need is pretty simple. We're gonna take the total amount of milliseconds in 1 minute, we'll divide it by the beats per minute of our track, and then we'll get the millisecond value that will correspond perfectly with our track in the grid. So to keep the numbers easy, I've created this track at 100 BPM so that 1, you can hear it easily, and 2, these numbers don't get crazy. I also have a tool that I've created that I'll talk more about later that's gonna help us with all of this, which means that we'll have 600 milliseconds to equal one single quarter note of our track. If we want to get smaller subdivisions, we can just divide by 2. We get 300 milliseconds for an 8th note. We can divide that by 2 to get 150 milliseconds for a 16th note, etc., etc. We can also go the opposite way. We can multiply by 2 to get a half note. 1200 would be a half note, and then we have 2400 would be a whole note. Let's dial in our compressor with these settings across a couple of the different parts of the drum kit that I have demoed here, and we'll see the difference that it makes. Let's use this methodology to dial in the snare itself. We'll first start with the release, which will be a lot easier to hear. Every snare hit normally comes on the 2 and the 4, which has a half note in between it. So we'll use that half note that we calculated with our BPM and our formula to type in for the release. We'll want to make sure that we turn off auto release because we'll be manually typing this in. We'll click here, and our half note in this case will be 1200 milliseconds. Before, and listen to the release after. You can hear that it's holding on to that release tail of the snare and really filling in some of those gaps. Now, using this long of a release isn't something I typically do on a track, but it does highlight what you can do with this methodology. The beauty of this formula is now I have an array of numbers to choose from that I can dial in my release that will all be synced up to the beat. Let's do the same for the attack. On the attack, it works the same way as before. We can take this down and just keep dividing by 2 till we get something that's a lot faster. In this case, we have 37.5 milliseconds, which would be our 64th note. Let's type that in. I've gain matched the makeup to make sure that they're about similar, but let's compare what the before and after sounds like. Just listen for the snare, by the way. I I use the snare in this example because you can really hear how long it's holding on to with that long release time. Let's affect the entire drum kit at once though with this same method. Check it out without. And listen to how it starts to groove and how those transients poke out more when it turns on. In my opinion, that one grooves a whole lot more, and that is true of every single aspect that you put it on in your mix. When the compressor resets exactly on the beat, like with what we're doing here, it creates a pocket, and it just feels way more groovy to listen to. It makes you want to move that much more. But let's be real, the worst part about this formula is stopping your creative flow and pulling out a calculator and having to do all of these calculations. Because the reality is, we're not working in 100 BPM all the time, or 120. We're working in 160 or sometimes 112.5. And that's where the numbers get tricky. So that's exactly why I built a tool called MILLI. It does exactly what I'm talking to you about, and it even has way more features than I didn't even go over that require a lot harder math. But let's type in a different BPM and see what it looks like. For example, 116. So now I have all of the values that are important to me as I'm dialing in my release and my attack times of my compressor. You can sort by dotted and triplet, which can give you some more intricate type results if you're looking for different values. And you can also go super fast, which would be like a 256th note. I don't know why you'd ever need that, but I'd add it in. And then mega long, you can also sort by here, which would be 33 seconds. If you're going for a mega reverb, you know, I thought I'd add that in. But it's super easy to sort with what you want, and it even has a swing knob so you can get some more intricate values. It's something that I personally use a lot in my mixes, and I thought that I would share it with you. It's available completely for free on my website, and often how I'll use it is I'll just throw it on my phone and then have it as a calculator, set it up next to my desk, and I'm ready to go. I don't have to get out of the creative flow at all. So there it is. There is the mathematically perfect way to get your release and your attack times of your compressor to sync up to your project. I highly recommend, especially for beginners and intermediate producers that struggle to hear compression, to start with these values before working anything else. You can go check out MILLI in the description below if you want to test out its capabilities and use this on your own projects. And I think you should. I think you'll be surprised by the results. I'll see you in the next one.